In a basketball game, no one really cares about who made the first basket. They really don't. You know, if it's a football game, no one really cares about who made the first touchdown in a football game. But everyone, let me tell you, everyone remembers the game-winning shot. Everyone remembers how many seconds were on the clock. If you see the image like right there on the screen with Dame Dollar hitting that shot in front of Paul George, everyone remembers that shot. 1.5 seconds left, he hit it, game over. Everyone remembers, if you're a football fan, the game-winning drive, the game-winning touchdown or field goal. Again, that's Diggs right there in the Vikings a couple years ago, scoring a game-winning touchdown as time ran out. Everyone remembers that. You know, and so it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter how many points the team was down by. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they never gave up. What matters is that they never quit. What matters is that they believed that they would win. Yeah, they kept on playing. They kept on pushing because there was something inside of them that said it doesn't matter how many points I'm down by, I believe I'm going to win. As a matter of fact, LeBron James says it like this. LeBron says that every time I step on the court, I believe I'm going to be on the winning team. That's some serious confidence right there. And so, like basketball, friends, or most other games that we are familiar with, every year or every season, our lives includes times when we don't make a shot. Every time our lives may include some times where we make a shot, we miss a shot, we score or we don't score. And the crowd is screaming and the crowd is very confident that the win is possible. But there are also times when we're down. There are also times when we can't score. There are also times when the defense is beating us up and time is running out. And so we juxtapose our lives and with a basketball game or a football game. And so in a basketball game, walk with me, that's my biggest sport that I love the most. In a basketball game, it's like the third quarter and your team is down by 20 points and the third quarter just ends and you're down by 30. You're looking around and the opposing team is celebrating, they're jumping, they're slapping fives, they're cheering, they're doing the whole thing, and you're sitting there on the bench and you're saying to yourself, I think we can still win this thing. I think we can still win this thing. And so what I want us to get this picture of is this basketball game. And like I said, you're down by 20 points and your team now has to get up and get back on the court as the fourth quarter is beginning. And so now the preparation that you've been going through all season, throughout all the practices, the preparation that is going to entail more than just drinking water, and you're going through the drills. And so the players are now on the court, and now they all have this confidence that they're going to win. And so this has to be a decision that they make. They've got to decide whether to play to finish or play to win. Let me say it again. As they come out on the court, a decision has to be made. Am I going to play to finish the game, or am I going to play to win the game? You see, both teams are going to finish, but only one team is going to win. And the team that wins is the team that finishes strong. Let me say it again. The team that wins is the team that finishes strong. And so as we prepare to enter the last quarter of the game, and we think about the free throws, think about the things that we got to do in the game, we all keep going on, I got to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to finish strong, I'm going to finish strong, I'm going to win this game. And as you see the points begin to chip down, the scores that begins to even out, and you eventually you begin to say, you know what, we're going to win this game. And so what I want us to now is to shift the image from the basketball court to our lives. We're in the last month of 2021. As a matter of fact, we've got 34 days remaining, counting today, for the year 2021. If God spares our lives, and the question I want to ask all ourselves is, are we going to win? are we going to finish strong? Are we going to end the year stronger? The past is the past. January, done. We can't redo it. Summer, gone. We can't redo it. Labor Day, September, October, gone. We can't redo it. The question I'm asking all of us is this: are we going to finish strong? We've got 34 days left, friends. Are we going to just finish out the year, or are we going to finish strong? And so I know that some of us have experienced some setbacks. I have. I've had some setbacks this year, man. It's been rough. It's been tough. Some of us have experienced loss of loved ones. I lost my cousin this year. I lost other friends this year. Some of you, same thing. I've experienced dealing with some of my goals that didn't get met, that didn't get realized. I've experienced times of discouragement. I've experienced times of defeat. I've experienced times of disappointment. Yeah, I've experienced that. But I still believe that I'm going to win. I still believe that I'm running to win. I still believe that if I remain in this game, I'm going to win. And so like me, some of you may have had setbacks. Like me, some of you may have been discouraged. Like me, some of you may have even felt defeated. I've got a word for you today, and the word comes to us from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. Therefore, since we're surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus. Let me say it again. Let us run. Yeah, let us run with endurance. Let us run this race that's set before us. And so let me give you a little bit of history real quickly. And so the writer of the Hebrews, he wrote this text, he wrote this book rather, to an original audience of Jews who had professed Jesus Christ. They were now at a point where they were now being challenged. Their faith was being challenged. They were being persecuted. And so they were being persecuted because of their belief, and they were now being challenged to renounce Christ. In other words, give up. They were tempted to turn back. They were being tempted to give up Christ. They were being tempted to renounce Christ. And so the writer of the Hebrews wrote this book to encourage and to challenge believers to persevere in their faith. He wrote this book to remind individuals that regardless of your trials and your persecution, remain faithful. And so their unyielding faith, it bears witness to the promise of Jesus Christ. And so we see here, he says, run with perseverance, the race marked out for us. And so Paul himself uses imagery in Timothy. Paul says the same thing. He says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Friends, this race is a race that's set before us. And so implying or suggesting that every one of us has a course. Let me say it again. Michelle, you've got a course. Saraline, you've got a course. Jasmine, you've got a course. Kara, you've got a course. And so he says, the race set before us, every one of us has a course to run. Every journey includes roads with dips and potholes and hills and valleys. And so we're challenged to run the race that's set before us. Yeah. And so let me say it again. Watch this. We don't set the course. We don't determine the path. We're not the ones that say, you know, I want to run this race, or I want to be in this lane. No. We don't set that course. This course is set before us by Christ. And so our responsibility is to run the course. Our our responsibility is to stay in the lane and run our course. And so different seasons in our lives and different courses are in before us, and our job is to finish strong. And so the writer of the Hebrews give this image of athletes that were surrounded by rows and rows of spectators. And he used the image here of a great cloud of witnesses. That's what he uses. And so imagine being in an arena, imagine being on a track where the stadium is filled, and we're on the track, and the track is filled with spectators in the stands. And so it is with our lives. And so Paul says that in this race, we've got a great cloud of witnesses that are surrounding us, that are looking on us, that's cheering us on. And so the witnesses in this text here are believers that are listed in the previous chapter, in chapter 11. He goes through a long list of those individuals, of men and women who have been faithful, and they're recorded in the Old Testament. What I want to do, let's lean in for a little bit. Let's look at one of these individuals that I think will give us a really good picture of running, that gives a good picture of finishing strong. Brother Joseph Joseph is one of these heroes that the writer refers to in chapter 11, verse 22. And so Joseph was one of Jacob's sons. He had many sons, but Joseph was his favorite son. Joseph was the favorite. Anybody have any favorites in your family? Don't raise your hand. But Joseph was his favorite son. And Joseph's life took some interesting turns and twists. As a result of being Jacob's favorite son, his brothers hated him. His brothers actually wanted to kill him. His brothers eventually ended up selling him into slavery, and his life began to take so many twists and so many turns. And so even before that, Joseph dreamt, and he shared his dream with his family. He says, at one time I was dreaming and I saw the imagery of sheaves, and they were bowing down before me. And Joseph interpreted that as, you're going to be bowing before me, you're going to be serving me. And that's what Joseph shared in his dream, and that kind of boiled them up a little bit more. They didn't like that. And so the plan to kill Joseph moved from a plan to kill him to a plan to sell him into slavery, and he was sold. And fast forward, and he's into slavery now. Joseph now is in jail. Joseph goes into jail, and we see him in a pitfall, the low point of his life. And so he's made a slave of a master, Potiphar. And so Joseph rises out of that. And Joseph now becomes second in command. But between the dream and all of that, he goes to jail. He gets accused falsely. he gets accused of trying to come after Potiphar's wife, and goes into jail. And he shares his dream again with the baker, and he shares what his plans are. He shares God's heart with him. And in that experience, we see one of those guys are released, and he forgets about Joseph. He doesn't get remembered anymore. I don't know how many of you guys feel. If people, sometimes you feel that someone has forgotten you. You feel they forget your struggle. They forget about what's happening, and they're all enjoying their lives. They're going through their thing. They're doing their thing, and they just forget about you. But Joseph persevered, because Joseph understood he had a course. He had a course to run, but he persevered through all of that. Through everything he went through. So from the time he was a teenager all the way till he was in his 30s and to his 40s, Joseph went through a rough course in his life. And he said that, I understand now the course that I've gone through. And fast forward into the entire story now, where he is second in command in Egypt, because he ran his course. He followed the course. He was able to save his entire family. To the point where Joseph confronts his brothers years later, and he says, as you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. And so my question is this: what do you do when defeats seem to outweigh your wins? What do you do when your plans that you've laid out and you shared with people, and you sold them, and you said, here's where I believe God has taken me? What do you do when defeat outweighs your victory? What do you do when it seems that your life is down in the third quarter and the fourth quarter and time is running out? Here's what you do. Run your race. Finish your race. Win your race. What do you do when you feel like throwing the towel and when defeat is just so overwhelming and you feel as if, did I make the right decision? And your plans just aren't working out. What do you do when you second guess yourself about what you've done? Did I really make the right choice when I moved here? Did I really make the right choice when I made this purchase? Did I really make the right choice when I went to this school? Did I really make the right choice in different aspects of my life? Did I do the right thing? What do you do? Run your race. Finish your race. Win your race. Pastor Wayne, it's November now and nothing is happening in my life. Pastor Wayne, I've been praying in January. I've been fasting in February. I've been worshiping in March. I've declared this in April and May and June, and nothing has happened, Pastor Wayne. No door is open for me, Pastor Wayne. Nothing is happening. I can't seem to take a break, Pastor Wayne. What do you do? Run your race. Finish your race. Win your race. It's emotionally tiring. I can't take the stress anymore. The job is killing me. I don't know if I should stay much longer, but if I leave, how am I going to pay my bills? If I leave, how am I going to support my family? And it's emotionally draining. It's mentally draining. Pastor Wayne, you don't understand what's happening in my life. You don't understand the stress that I'm going through. I don't understand it. You're right. But here's what I want you to do. Run your race. Finish your race. Win your race. It's one thing after another, Pastor Wayne. My children, they're up and down, and one day they're great, and the next day I don't know who they are. Pastor Wayne, my marriage is on the rocks. You don't understand. One day we're love, and the next day it's like we're like cats and dogs. You don't understand, Pastor Wayne. I don't understand, but here's what I want you to do. Run your race. Finish your race. Win your race. Just like Joseph, understanding this course that has been laid out before you, you've got to follow it. And there's a great cloud of witnesses that are surrounding you. There's a great cloud of witnesses that are encouraging you. There's a great cloud of witnesses that have been through what you've been through. And they're saying to you and I, run your race. Finish your race. Win your race. Pastor Wayne, why should I keep going? You should keep going because the Bible says that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, to those who are called according to his purpose. Yeah, understand this, friends, that everything, if your responsibility is to love God, your responsibility is to love him, and your love is displayed in your serving him, by worshiping him, by praying, by immersing yourself in the word. This is how you prove you love God. And watch this. If you love God the best way you can, the Bible says all things work together to those who love God.
Good, yes.
That's the word. But Pastor Wayne, I don't get it. Keep loving God. How do I run my race? Love God. How do I finish my race? Love God. How do I win my race? Love God. Jesus says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. And so our responsibility is to stay in our lanes. How do I stay in my lane? By keeping his commandments. How do I stay in my lane? By loving him unashamedly. How do I remain in my lane? By serving him, by worshiping him, by not being ashamed of who he is and who he is in my life. Run your race. Finish your race. Win your race. Friends, winning, watch this, winning is not just about ability and performance. Winning is a mindset. Winning is a belief. We used LeBron as the example earlier a few moments ago. LeBron says, every time I step on the court, I believe I'm on the winning team. As believers, every time I wake up, I believe I'm on the winning team. It doesn't matter what's happening around me. I believe I'm on the winning team. It doesn't matter what my job says. I believe I'm on the winning team. What the doctors say, I believe I'm on the winning team. What my family says, I believe I'm on the winning team. What my school says, I believe I'm on the winning team. What my mind tells me sometimes, because guess what? Satan attacks your mind. It doesn't matter what darts he throws. I believe I'm on the winning team. And so we can't allow, friends, we can't allow doubtful experiences of the past 11 months. I'm not dismissing them. I'm not minimizing them. I'm not ignoring them, because guess what? Some of us have gone through some serious trauma. Whether it's death with close family and friends, whether it's your own personal experience near death, whether it's financial hardship, whether it's emotional hardship, whatever it is, we need to understand that I'm not going to allow those things to get me down. I've got to have the mindset and the attitude that regardless of what happened for the past 10 and a half months, 11 months now basically, whatever has happened in the past 11 months, my attitude, my belief as I approach the next month and into next year is that of running, finishing, winning. Running, finishing, winning. Let me say it again. Running, finishing, and winning. Keep believing. Keep walking. Keep standing, because I believe God is working. Run. The writer says, therefore, since we're surrounded. And so when you look at the word therefore in its context, you may ask, well, I'm telling you what it's therefore, right? He says, therefore, meaning the reason why I'm telling you this, or consequently, therefore, watch this, since we are surrounded by these believers, since we are surrounded, let us run. That means if I see someone next to me not running, hey, let's go. Let us run. These are people who finished. We see in chapter 11, and time will have me to go through to unpack it, but you can read it. You see here, by faith, Abraham finished. By faith, Isaac finished. By faith, Jacob finished. By faith, Joseph finished. But by faith, Moses finished. But by faith, Rahab finished. These individuals and so many others finished strong. And guess what? If they finish strong, so can you. If they finish strong, so can you. You know why? Because winning is not just a mindset. Winning is contagious. Yeah, winning is contagious, and so that's why it's important for us to surround ourselves with individuals who are also of the winning mindset. Yeah, let us, look at the text, let us, not then say let me. Although we've got our individual courses, we have our individual paths, the scripture is very clear. Let us run, meaning we're running together. We've got different paths, but let us run, because it's contagious. You see, winning inspires. Nobody wants to be around losers.
That's right.
Nobody wants to be around a losing team. Nobody. And so nobody wants to be associated with a loser, because winners give hope. Winning gives hope. Winning encourages us to drive. I don't know where you are. It's the 28th day of November, 2021. I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But what I do know is this. I, by the grace of God, will finish strong. And I want to encourage you and challenge you to do the same. I want you to declare it among yourself first. I want you to declare it in your family. We will finish strong. We're going to run our race. We're going to finish our race. We're going to win our race.